Dude, and he's a monster? What the
Congo is a place of mystery, adventure, and secrets.
Okay, oh, I got it in focus. Oh, man.
Videos of strange creatures and discovering unsettling things.
Look, over there. You see that?
What the
These clips defy belief. Now caught on camera, they have revealed a side of the Congo most never knew existed.
I thought it was like somebody up there, maybe like fishing or something.
And it's far more terrifying than anyone ever imagined.
It's like a person.
There's definitely someone in there.
Yo, I think there's legs coming out of his mouth.
People talk about ancient legends all the time, but one guy claimed he actually saw one. He spotted something weird underwater, a snake slithering along with what looked like feathers on its body. No way that was normal. He grabbed his phone and filmed it, thinking he'd just caught proof of the feathered serpent, a creature straight out of myth. Once he posted it, the internet went wild. Some laughed and said it was just a rattlesnake with feathers stuck to it. Others said it looked like a Pokemon. But that video definitely got people talking. Shock catch. A fisherman thought he landed a cool-looking fish, slim, shiny, with a weird glow to it. But when he reached out, things got real fast. That wasn't a normal fish. It was an electric eel. These guys aren't just creepy looking. They can blast you with electricity, even outside the water. It's their built-in defense system, and it works like a charm. The fisherman got lucky he didn't grab it wrong, or he'd be feeling that zap for days. When fishing in the wild, it's not always clear what you're dealing with, and some catches fight back. River mystery.
It's like a person.
There's definitely someone in there.
Yo, I think there's legs coming out of his mouth.
People in New York had no idea what they were looking at. Right by the Brooklyn Bridge in 2011, a weird, giant animal washed up on the shore. It looked spooky. Some even called it the East River Monster. Folks guessed it might be a sea beast, a science experiment gone wrong, or a cousin of the creepy Montauk monster. But when marine experts checked it out, they figured it out fast. It was an Atlantic sturgeon. These fish are super old and can grow way bigger, but this one was still huge. Around 6 or 7 feet long. Even though they've been in those waters forever, most people never see them. Beached giant. While walking on a beach, a man spotted something weird floating in the water. At first, it looked like a giant blob, but when he got closer, he realized it was a sunfish. And not just any sunfish, a massive one. These deep-sea creatures almost never show up near shore, but this one was just lying there in the shallows. It looked tired, almost like it didn't belong. The guy tried to help it back into the water, but it was huge.
It's huge! Oh my god!
Close to 100 pounds. No one really knows why it came so close, but something strange is definitely going on out there. Spiky catch. A guy was just out fishing, expecting a regular catfish. Nothing too exciting, but when he pulled it up, the thing looked straight out of a video game. It had sharp ridges running all the way down its body, like armor. He had caught a ripsaw catfish. And yeah, those spikes are real. They grow like saw blades along the back to scare off predators.
Look at that catfish. It's got spikes running all the way down inside. If you rub it this way, you're gonna get cut.
Even picking it up was a challenge. This fish wasn't built for speed. It was built like a tank. Some catches look cool, but definitely come with a warning sign.
That is crazy. Look at that, and look at his underbelly. Oh my gosh. How insane is that fish?
Horned find. A guy walking near a shallow puddle thought he saw just another rock. until the shape caught his eye. It had horns. Turns out, it wasn't a rock at all. It was part of a bison skull, with its horns still sticking out, rough but real. Holding it, he could feel the weight of time. Bison once roamed all over, and many cultures saw them as sacred. This skull might have been buried for hundreds, maybe thousands of years before the water washed it up. Now, after being hidden so long, it's back above ground. A strange, powerful reminder of what came before us. Ghost reptile.
There's a crocodile's head.
Back in 2011, people near a quiet river in Nepal spotted something unreal. A gharial stretched out in the sun like it owned the place.
There's a crocodile's head.
With its skinny snout packed with razor-sharp teeth, it didn't even look real. Gharials aren't after large animals like other crocs. They glide through the water catching fish like pros. These rare reptiles are barely hanging on in the wild. But every now and then, one shows up. Alive, calm, and ancient looking. For anyone who sees one, it's like nature gave them a quick peek into the past. Tooth of Giants. Millions of years ago, what's dry land today was deep underwater. That ocean disappeared, but it left clues. While combing through the sand, one explorer found something sharp and black, a giant triangle. It was a megalodon tooth. The megalodon was a prehistoric shark the size of a bus, and they shed thousands of teeth in their lifetime. Fossils like this aren't just cool, they're proof of the giants that once ruled the sea. Holding that tooth is like holding a piece of Earth's wildest chapter, back when monsters swam where we now walk.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Hidden giant. A video popped up online and had everyone scratching their heads. At first, it looked like a bunch of floating plants shifting around, but then something massive moved beneath them. Turns out, it was a whole elephant cruising through the water, completely hidden except for the ripple trail it left behind. Elephants love water. They use it to stay cool, get away from biting bugs, and sometimes snack on the plants growing there. Thick patches might look like a trap, but to a beast that size, it's just a salad bar with shade. Tail loss. During his first week on the job, a new park worker spotted something off. One of the alligators didn't look right. It was short, bulky, and totally missing its tail. Like part frog, part gator. Turns out it was an alligator. Just one that had completely lost its tail. And while gators can regrow part of it, this one had nothing left to regrow. Some think it lost it in a fight, maybe even from another gator. Others say it could have been born that way. Either way, it didn't stop it from moving around like a boss. Hey bro. Something huge and creepy showed up in the water near Spain's Ebro River. People stood by, staring at this dark, snake-like thing floating half underwater. It wasn't moving much, but it was massive. Like 50 feet long, kind of massive. Nobody could figure out what it was. Some said it was a sea monster. Others guessed a lost animal or even a new species. A few locals even called it a mini leviathan. But here's the weird part. No one ever got close, for obvious reasons. Horned shadow. While fishing in the Alligator River, a man froze when he saw something massive drifting under the surface. It looked like a bull with horns, but it wasn't floating. It was moving. At first, he thought it was a deceased animal until it shifted silently and vanished. Some say it was just a wild water buffalo, but the way it swam didn't feel normal. People in the area have whispered about this thing for years. It breaks nets, avoids traps, and slips away every time someone tries to catch it. River gold. As the Euphrates River shrinks, it's revealing more than old rocks. People with metal detectors have started pulling gold nuggets straight from the dry riverbed. Tiny, real pieces of treasure. Even local families are joining in, hoping to find something valuable before it's all gone. Historians say the river always had hidden gold, but this is the first time it's been this exposed. Now it feels like a real-life gold rush, and it's getting competitive. Some are worried things might get tense if too many people show up. Amazon tentacles. A man was kayaking down the Amazon when the water around him bursted into chaos. Something big was moving underneath, strong enough to rock his boat like a toy. And just like that, it was gone. But in that quick glimpse, he saw what looked like tentacles sliding through the murky river. He made it out safely, but couldn't shake what he saw. Old legends tell of sea monsters with arms long enough to pull down ships, and now people are starting to wonder if something like that could really be hiding in the Amazon. Whatever it was, it felt less like a fish and more like something out of a deep-sea nightmare.
I think there's 20 of them.
River spiral. In October 2018, something weird happened on the Qiantang River in China. Out of nowhere, a giant whirlpool formed, spinning all day while thick white foam bubbles on the surface. Thousands of people watched, unsure what they were seeing. A police boat showed up to check it out, but even they had no clue what caused it. No smell, no gas, no broken pipes. Officials later blamed it on metro construction, but the size and strength of the whirlpool felt way too intense for just that. Many people walked away feeling like something deeper was going on, something they weren't being told. Ghost eel. At Port Douglas Marina, a fisherman spotted something strange, a thin, white thing floating like a ghost in the water. First, he thought it was just an old rag. Then, it moved on its own. Turned out, it was a white ribbon eel, sometimes called a ghost eel. It's super rare in Australia. In fact, this was only the third time anyone had seen one, and before 2022, the last sighting was over 100 years ago. Moments like this remind us the ocean is still hiding some crazy secrets under the waves. Horned hunter.
Some people see crocodiles as this animal that's unchanging through time, and actually we know now that that's not true, but they look like it.
Deep inside Madagascar's flooded caves, explorers found something that hadn't been seen in 2,000 years. A nearly perfect skull of the horned crocodile. This extinct beast wasn't like today's Nile crocs. It had bony knobs above its eyes and a shorter, deeper snout that gave it a weird, almost armored look. Some think it vanished when humans showed up. Others blame the Nile crocodile for pushing it out, but no one knows for sure. With this new skull, scientists are now digging into its DNA, hoping to finally figure out where this strange predator fits in the croc family tree. Role reversed. Near a muddy riverbank, someone caught a wild scene. Piranhas feasting on a caiman. Usually, it's the other way around. Caimans hunt piranhas, but this time, nature switched things up. The fish tore into the carcass like it was nothing. The water churned with red as people stood there, shocked. Piranhas have a brutal bite and usually stick to rivers in South America. But they've popped up in strange places too, even Louisiana. This one wasn't picky. Dino Croc. A wild video exploded online showing a massive crocodile cruising under a fishing boat. But this wasn't your everyday croc. Locals in Vila Nide, Rondônia, called it Dino Crocodilis. It happened near the Cabixi region, and the thing looked way bigger and older than any normal croc. Some people thought it was an Asu crocodile, but the size and weird shape didn't really match.
Grande, grande.
Menino do céu.
Grande.
Menino do céu.
A few even said it might be some ancient creature that somehow survived. Whatever it was, it slipped back into the waters, keeping its secrets for another day. Cursed discovery. Two friends out on the water thought they were in for a chill day until their net pulled up something creepy. A voodoo doll. Not their first either. This was the second one they'd found in the same spot. That's when things stopped feeling random. These dolls aren't just spooky props. They're tied to old rituals, and messing with them is said to bring serious bad luck. Some say people who touch them get sick, lose things, or feel like something's following them. After that second find, the friends didn't hang around to see what came next. River Beast. A giant shape slid through the river without making a single ripple. Someone nearby spotted it and started filming, trying to keep calm, while watching this massive snake-like thing move past. It looked way too big to be normal. Some people guessed it was a rattlesnake. Others thought it might be a gray anaconda. But a few people online went even bigger. They said it looked like a titanoboa, a monster snake from prehistoric times. Canal Creature. While passing by the highway, a visitor suddenly stopped in his tracks. There was something in the water. Initially, it looked like debris floating along the canal, but then it moved, not just drifting with the current, but in a way that felt deliberate. The shape was unclear, but its movements were too controlled to be lifeless. Could it be an animal, a massive fish, or maybe something else? Canals have long been known for strange and unexplained sightings. Maybe this was just another mystery waiting to be solved. River Chase.
We don't know what this is, but it is very, very large.
In November 2014, two fishermen were chilling on the Missouri River when weird ripples started shaking up the water. At first, it was slow, like something huge sneaking under them. Then, boom, the thing charged toward their boat. It wasn't random either. When they stopped, it stopped, like it was playing a creepy game. Some people blamed a giant paddlefish. Others said it had to be something way bigger and way stranger. Officials tried to say it was just a log or a buoy, but seriously, logs don't chase boats. The Missouri River already has legends like Momo, the Missouri Monster, and this just made the river even spookier. Mistaken identity. A tourist boat ride turned into a wild story when the group spotted something weird by the water. They thought they were just looking at people until one person jumped in. When it hit the water, they caught a fast glimpse, a fishtail flashing under the surface. The top half, it looked almost human. Then, poof, it was gone, leaving only ripples behind. In that part of the world, tales of mermaids have been around forever. Some say they're spirits. Others think they're ancient creatures hiding from people. Either way, they never stick around long enough for anyone to figure it out. Field intruder.
He's still up here. Something's up here. He's moving.
A farmer was just doing his thing when something weird happened. Near the edge of his field, right by the water, he saw something long and dark. At first, he thought it was a pipe sticking out of the ground, and then it moved. Whoa, the slimy black thing slid forward like it was alive, then vanished into the mud. He stood there frozen, trying to figure out what he'd just seen. Some say it could have been a giant leech or something even stranger. Whatever it was, the farmer wasn't going near that spot again. Something about it felt wrong. Sea shadow. Sailing past the lighthouse, one sailor caught a glimpse of something super weird. A long neck popped out of the waves, moving slow and quiet like it didn't want to be seen. It wasn't a bird, and it wasn't any fish he knew. Some people would say it was just a trick of the light, but he trusted his own eyes. Stories about creepy sea creatures have floated around for years, and this one just added more fuel to the fire. He can't explain what he saw, but it did worry him a little after the waves settled. Vanishing current. After a flood hit the area, someone noticed strange movements in the shallow river. It looked like trash floating by, until the water began swirling. Several whirlpools appeared, then fused into one giant spin. The river wasn't even deep, barely 2 feet, and there were no pipes or drains around. But the whirlpool got stronger and stronger. A weed nearby got pulled in fast and never came back up. No bubbles, no splash. Just gone. Some people said it was shifting ground underneath. Others weren't so sure. It felt like something else was hiding below. Danger current.
See this right here? 100% fatality rate. Every motherfucker who ended up in there has died.
It looked peaceful, but this water was hiding something deadly. A local posted a video warning everyone to stay away. On the surface, it was calm, but just a few feet over, the water spun like a giant blender. Turns out, there was a hidden wall under there, 8 to 10 feet deep, causing a strong, swirling current. If someone fell in, the water would drag them down fast. Like, no joke. It was almost impossible to swim out. The video blew up online, showing just how dangerous this spot really was. One wrong step near the edge, and the water grabs you before you even scream. Monster mistake. Some people freaked out when a strange animal washed up on a beach in the UK. It had 4 weird fins, a long tail, and a wide, flat head. Nobody knew what it was, but it didn't look normal. Some thought it was a baby Loch Ness monster, while others said it looked just like a Leopleurodon, one of the biggest sea hunters from the dinosaur days. The creepy part? Its gray skin and white spots really did match the drawings of that ancient creature. And then, in a viral video, someone else caught a huge sea creature that looked just like it. It twisted and fought like a monster, but the truth came out. It was just a giant Siluro catfish. Still scary, just not from the Jurassic Age. River octopus. A tourist by the river spotted something red and wiggly in the water. At first, it looked like a jellyfish, but when it moved closer, he realized it had arms. Lots of them. He grabbed his phone and filmed it.
Dude, look at that.
That is seriously like the coolest thing ever.
People online were stunned. It was an octopus, a real one, way out of place. These creatures usually stick to the ocean, not rivers. So how did it get there? Maybe there's a secret tunnel underwater. Maybe it just got lost. Either way, that river isn't as normal as it looks.
What the nuts? Oh my goodness, dude.
That is so beautiful.
Lure stalker. While fishing by the river, a man noticed something weird. His bait wasn't being bitten, it was being followed. A dark, slow-moving shadow stayed just below the surface, circling the lure like it was hunting him. It was way too big to be any normal fish. And when he posted the video online, people lost it. Some guessed a giant pike. Others were sure it was something worse, like a real river monster. It used to be a no fishing zone, and maybe now we know why. Turtle waves. Back in 2023, something amazing happened on Roshikulia Beach in Odisha. At first, it looked like the sand was shaking. Then tiny heads popped out, hundreds of thousands of olive Ridley turtle hatchlings, all at once. The beach came alive as these turtles raced toward the sea. It was the biggest nesting event they'd ever recorded. Each mother had left over 100 eggs buried deep, and now they were all hatching. Locals gathered to watch the beach turn into a moving wave of life. It was wild and a little unreal. Alligator Dump. In Loxahatchee Groves, Florida, locals smelled something awful near a canal. What they found made it worse. Alligators were dumped here. Wildlife officials showed up fast. The weird part? None of the valuable parts were taken. No skin, no meat. And there were no legal hunting tags either. Whoever did this wasn't in it for money. That's what made it scary, because whoever dumped those gators didn't want them for food or trade. They just wanted them gone. Ritual relic. A mudlark searching along the River Thames in 2021 spotted something odd half buried in the mud. It was a small wooden dog with sharp nails driven into its back. She hesitated, but curiosity won. When experts looked at it, they confirmed it was a Nkisi Kozo, a ritual object from Congo used over 100 years ago. These figures were part of spiritual ceremonies, meant to hold power, protect, or even bring justice. It wasn't just a lost toy, it was a piece of deep history with serious meaning. That find turned one muddy walk into a brush with something sacred. Flood limbs.
Weekend's rain might have turned the Elk River into a haunted one for some unadvised visitors.
After a flood hit McDonald County, the river left behind a scene straight out of a horror movie. Locals spotted human-like limbs floating downstream. Arms, legs, even torsos. Panic hit fast, and emergency teams rushed to the scene. But the truth turned out less scary and more strange. They weren't real, though. They were mannequin parts, probably dumped or washed in from a storm-damaged shop. Still, seeing fake arms float by isn't exactly comforting. Giant step. While exploring near the San Gabriel River in Texas, a group spotted something wild in the ground. A huge footprint.
Looks like a giant footprint.
And we're not talking regular big. This thing looked human, but massive. 5 clear toes, a wide heel, and pressed deep into solid stone. Right nearby, dinosaur tracks. So yeah, this place already had history, but this print felt different. Some folks brought up old legends about ancient giants, maybe even the Nephilim.
And it looks like the pinky toe, whatever the toe that is, and 2 more toes and then a big toe. It kind of looks like a Nephilim.
And just a few feet away, there was a second faded print.
And then if you move a little bit more that way, it looks like another big footprint, which has not really retained its original.
Like whatever made it had taken a step and vanished. Whatever left it behind wasn't small. Ancient discovery. In 2021, 2 kayakers drifting through a dried-out stretch of the Minnesota River saw something poking out of the dirt. At first, they feared the worst. It looked like it belonged to someone, so they called the police, thinking it might be from a crime scene. But testing revealed something way more surprising. It was nearly 8,000 years old. It belonged to a young man who lived long before cities, phones, or even writing existed. Somehow, his remains stayed hidden in the riverbed all that time, only now showing themselves, like the Earth gave up one of its oldest secrets. Mammoth Reveal. Back in April 2021, a science teacher dove into Florida's Peace River just hoping to explore. But under a fallen tree, he felt something way bigger than expected. It was heavy, solid, and not just a chunk of junk. When he pulled it out, he realized it was a fossilized mammoth bone, 4 feet long and weighing over 50 pounds. It belonged to a Columbian mammoth, one of the giants that used to walk across Florida thousands of years ago. Now, that bone's in a classroom, giving students a real look at the ancient beasts that once ruled the land. River secrets. As rivers dry up, the past starts peeking through. In China's Yangtze River, shrinking water levels revealed something no one saw coming. 3 ancient Buddhist statues carved into stone. These hidden carvings had been underwater for centuries, but now they're back in the light. They were found on Foyiliang Island and date back about 600 years, from the Ming and Qing dynasties. One statue shows a calm monk sitting on a lotus, even worn by time. It's clear these weren't random carvings. They were made with care and purpose. Just another reminder that history doesn't always stay buried. Floating Oddity. A guy standing on a bridge spotted something that made him freeze. A mushroom-shaped plant was moving across a canal, floating, but not touching the water. It hovered just above the surface, spinning like it had a mind of its own. Once the clip hit the internet, chaos followed. Some people joked it looked like a glowing video game object. Others blamed radiation or glitches in nature. No one knows where the video was taken, and that mystery only makes it creepier. Snake horror. By the side of a river, someone caught a wild moment on camera. A giant anaconda, easily 6 meters long, rose from the water with something in its mouth. At first, it looked like it was giving birth. But then, no. It was regurgitating another anaconda. Nobody's sure why it happened. Maybe the smaller one was food it couldn't finish. Or maybe something darker was going on. Either way, it was a powerful predator caught in a moment that felt more like a horror movie than real life. Mass discovery. Divers exploring the ocean floor thought they'd find old ship parts or sea creatures. Instead, they found massive remains. Humanoid in shape, but way too big to be human. Word spread fast. Some claimed it was proof of giants mentioned in old stories. Others thought it could be signs of a lost civilization or species wiped out before history even began. Scientists are still trying to figure it out, but so far, no solid answers. If bones like that are real, who knows what else is waiting to be found? It's time for today's subscribers' pick of the day. Back in October 2015, something washed up in Paraguay that had everyone talking. Locals in Carmen del Paraná spotted a creepy-looking corpse floating in the Paraná River. Its skin looked wrinkled and slimy, almost like a frog. But the hands, face, and tail, they looked weirdly human, like a monkey gone wrong. Firefighters pulled it out, and photos were snapped fast. But here's the twist. No official report or autopsy ever followed. People threw around guesses. Some said it was just a monkey messed up by the water. Others weren't so sure. There were some that said it was a chupacabra, but that didn't help out much. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.